Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about one of the most important power moves we've seen in the AI hardware race so far, and it's not just about chips, it's about talent, control, regulation, and who gets to define the future of AI inference. Because Nvidia didn't just make a deal with Groq, they essentially rewrote the rules of how big tech absorbs competition, without technically buying the company. And if you're wondering why Nvidia would spend around $20 billion to license technology and hire people instead of doing a clean acquisition, that's exactly what we're unpacking today. Let's get into it. This story starts with Nvidia's position in the AI market. Right now, Nvidia is the most valuable company in the world by market capitalization, largely because its GPUs power the training of almost every major AI model you've heard of. If a model is being trained at scale, chances are Nvidia silicon is involved somewhere. But training isn't the whole story anymore. The real battleground going forward is inference, the process of running trained models in production. Every time ChatGPT answers a question, every time an image model identifies an object, every time a recommendation system makes a prediction, that's inference. And inference is where costs, latency, and energy efficiency suddenly matter a lot more than brute force compute. That's exactly where Groq comes in. Groq is a chip startup founded in 2016 by Jonathan Ross, one of the engineers behind Google's tensor processing unit, the TPU. From the beginning, Groq focused on a very specific problem: how to run large language models faster, cheaper, and with lower latency than GPUs. Instead of GPUs, Groq built what it calls LPUs, language processing units, chips designed specifically for inference. Groq has claimed that its architecture can run LLMs up to 10 times faster while using 1/10 the energy in certain workloads. Whether you take those numbers literally or not, Groq clearly positioned itself as one of the most serious threats to Nvidia's dominance in inference. And the traction was real. By September 2025, Groq had raised $750 million in a funding round that more than doubled its valuation to $6.9 billion, up from $2.8 billion just a year earlier. Investors included Samsung, Cisco, Altimeter, BlackRock, Neuberger Berman, Disruptive, and 1789 Capital, where Donald Trump Jr. is a partner. Groq also said it powered AI applications for over 2 million developers, up from around 356,000 the year before. So this wasn't a struggling startup looking for an exit. Groq wasn't even pursuing a sale, and yet Nvidia came knocking. What Nvidia announced publicly was a non-exclusive licensing agreement for Groq's inference technology. Along with that licensing deal, Nvidia hired Groq's founder Jonathan Ross, its president Sunny Madra, and several other senior leaders to join Nvidia directly. Groq, for its part, said it would remain an independent company, now led by finance chief Simon Edwards as CEO. Groq Cloud, its cloud inference service, would continue operating without interruption. But then CNBC dropped the real number. According to multiple reports, Nvidia is paying around $20 billion in cash to acquire Groq's assets, excluding the cloud business. If accurate, this would make it Nvidia's largest deal ever, dwarfing its previous biggest acquisition, the $7 billion purchase of Mellanox in 2019. And suddenly, the wording started to matter a lot. Nvidia insists this is not an acquisition of Groq as a company. Jensen Huang himself wrote in an internal email that Nvidia is licensing Groq's IP and hiring talent, not buying the firm outright. CFO Colette Kress declined to comment on transaction details. But functionally, Nvidia gets the technology, the leadership, and the ability to integrate Groq's low-latency processors directly into what Huang calls Nvidia's AI factory architecture, a platform designed to serve inference and real-time workloads at massive scale. So why structure it this way? Because regulation. Over the last few years, competition regulators in the US and Europe have become increasingly skeptical of large tech companies acquiring startups that could one day become rivals. Full acquisitions invite scrutiny, delays, and sometimes outright blocks. But acqui-hires, licensing technology, and hiring people while leaving a shell company behind often slide under the radar. And Nvidia has done this before. Just a few months earlier, Nvidia spent over $900 million to license technology and hire executives from another AI hardware startup, Fabrica. Meta, Google, and Microsoft have all used similar structures to quietly absorb talent without triggering regulatory alarms. This Groq deal fits that pattern perfectly. From Nvidia's perspective, it's a masterstroke. Nvidia already dominates training. By absorbing Groq's inference expertise, Nvidia strengthens its position in the exact area where challengers were starting to gain ground. It also sends a message to the market: if you build a serious alternative to Nvidia in AI hardware, Nvidia might not compete with you, it might just absorb you. Financially, Nvidia can afford it. At the end of October, Nvidia reported $60.6 billion in cash and short-term investments, up from just $13.3 billion in early 2023. The company has also said it plans to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI, which has committed to deploying at least 10 gigawatts of Nvidia products. Nvidia has also announced plans to invest $5 billion in Intel, though details are still pending. Groq, meanwhile, was targeting $500 million in revenue this year, driven by demand for inference chips. But in a world where Nvidia controls both training and inference ecosystems, going head-to-head long-term becomes exponentially harder. There's also an important technical angle here. Inference workloads are not just about speed, they're about determinism, latency, and predictability. GPUs are incredibly powerful but were not originally designed for this exact use case. Groq's architecture was. By integrating Groq's approach into Nvidia's broader platform, Nvidia can offer customers inference systems optimized end-to-end, from model training to real-time deployment. And that matters because inference is where the real money is going to be made. Every enterprise AI application, customer support bots, search engines, recommendation systems, co-pilots, runs inference continuously. Reducing inference cost by even a small percentage at scale translates into billions of dollars saved. So this deal isn't about headlines, it's about control. It also reshapes the competitive landscape for other chip startups. Groq isn't the only company trying to challenge Nvidia. Cerebras Systems, another AI chipmaker, filed for an IPO in late 2024 but withdrew it in October after raising over $1 billion in funding. Cerebras said it still plans to go public eventually, but the pause highlights how difficult it is to compete when Nvidia can deploy capital, talent, and ecosystem leverage at this scale. And that's the broader implication here. Nvidia isn't just winning because its chips are good, it's winning because it has built a gravitational pull so strong that competitors eventually get absorbed into its orbit, sometimes willingly, sometimes not. The Groq deal also reinforces a shift we're seeing across the industry. AI hardware competition is no longer just about who has the fastest chip, it's about who controls the entire stack: silicon, software, tooling, cloud integration, developer ecosystems, and now inference optimization. Nvidia is playing chess while most of the industry is still playing checkers. And yet, there's a tension here. On one hand, this consolidation accelerates progress. Nvidia integrating Groq's technology could lead to faster, cheaper, more efficient AI systems for everyone. On the other hand, it concentrates power even further into the hands of a single company. When one firm controls both the training and inference backbone of global AI, the question isn't just technical anymore. It becomes strategic, economic, political. That's why regulators are watching. That's why these deals are structured the way they are. And that's why this story matters far beyond one startup and one licensing agreement. So when you hear that Nvidia licensed Groq's technology and hired its leadership, understand what's really happening. This is Nvidia fortifying its dominance at the most critical layer of the AI stack, right as inference becomes the defining battlefield of the next decade. And if history is any guide, this won't be the last move like this we see. Alright, that's the full breakdown of Nvidia's Groq deal and what it really means for the future of AI hardware. If you found this useful, hit like and do share this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Let me know in the comments what you think: smart strategy or too much power in one place. Thanks for watching. This is AI Tides, and I'll see you in the next one.